Hello, my name is Agatha. Before going to the subject, I'd like to tell you that I do private consultations, and if you click below, you can go to my services page, see my rates. If you do like to work with me, you can then send me an email to duniazad@gmail.com. Also, I have a newsletter, which is www.tinyletter.com/duniazad. If you subscribe to it, you can win a free written tarot reading, and there's a winner every month. So, what is the subject that I'm speaking of today? I'm talking about the solar eclipse that's going to happen on the 9th of March 2016. This is going to be a very general astrological analysis. The solar eclipse it's when the sun and the moon are together. I mean, there's a whole lunar, it's when they're apart, you know. It's more than, there's more than that, okay? I don't know all the specifics, but this solar eclipse, the sun and the moon will be together at 18 degrees and 56 minutes of Pisces. Also, there is almost at the 19 degrees of Pisces. And a solar eclipse always, it's always about something which is starting, is the birth of something new, and it will be present in your life for more or less the next 6 months. However, this solar eclipse, it's going to be conjunct the south node, therefore, which is also located in the sign of Pisces. Therefore, the south node usually, when it transits your chart, usually shows what you need to let go of, you know, in order to move on, and in order to take full advantage of every opportunity that are coming to you, and those opportunities are shown by the transiting north node. So this eclipse, it's two things at the same time, because it speaks of something new that opens up, and at the same time it speaks of something old that we must let go of, something that closes in your life. So there's an old way of living that gets let go of. There's an old way of thinking, of feeling, and there's something new which opens up in front of you. I think there's something will be taken away from you in order to force you to move on to your next part of your life. I went and I saw the asteroids which will be conjunct this solar eclipse. And where did I went? I went to serenu.com -astrology-ephemeris.php. If you look Serenu, CERENNU.com, you'll find it. So MEMORIA, or MEMORIA, I'm going to read this in Portuguese. It's the asteroid number 1247, and it will be conjunct this eclipse, and it will be at 18 degrees and 48 minutes of Pisces. Therefore, it will be at an 8-minute conjunction. It's exact to the degree and almost to the minute. This is the closest asteroid. And then the second asteroid is Burasisi, and it's the number 666, interesting, 52, 66652, and it will be at 19 degrees of Pisces, 06 minutes of Pisces. So I think that these two asteroids are really important in the context of this solar eclipse. There are other asteroids that I'm going to mention also. Sisyphus, it's going to be at 18 degrees and 40 minutes of Scorpio, therefore in a sextile, which is a good aspect. Varda, which is it's going to be at 18 degrees and 46 minutes of Sagittarius. It will be square this eclipse. And Chaos, interesting, Chaos, it's going to be at 18 degrees and 55 minutes of Gemini, another square to this solar eclipse. This eclipse also is going to be opposing transiting Jupiter, and this Jupiter, not just of course, it's going to be opposing the North Node, and the Jupiter is going to be conjunct the North Node. So, what does this mean to me, all of this? I'm going to put this together. It appears to me it's as if it's cleaning house. You need to clean house in order to something for a new life to flourish. According to Sextile, the South Node in aspect to Jupiter, although she speaks more of natal positions, and I think that this is more South Node conjunct natal Jupiter. But I'm going to read this. Also, I think it has something important to say towards this solar eclipse. When the South Node aspects Jupiter, that could be interpreted as expenses, and Jupiter always expands everything it touches. If you have an expense, it's not tiny like one, it's a big expense, and something which is not expected, and suddenly it appears out of nowhere. For instance, it could be a whole hospital bill, something connected with your health, including health insurances, or also suddenly, because it's Jupiter, because it's the South Node, suddenly there's no money. Or it could also mean, still according to Sextile, you take on risks in opportunities that seem like gold, but they don't work out the way you thought, and it turns out to be a very bad move. Or you make promises that can never be kept. Politicians probably will be doing, they always do this, by the way, they always do this, but so I'm thinking that probably around this time there will be politicians that are making promises that can never ever be fulfilled, and anything that comes out of those mouths will be lies. Never believe what is, especially during this time. Whatever a politician is saying, it's a lie. It's even if he or she doesn't think it's a lie, it can never be fulfilled. So so if they are promising something about health and health expenses or anything connected to fighting some disease, either it's a lie or it's something that can never be kept. If they are talking about changes in according to the law and the application of justice, either it's a lie or it cannot be done. Also, during this time, it can be that books published during this time could be like monumental flops. You also have to be careful with foreign travel that cannot go very well for all sorts of reasons. I thought, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I thought of like a possible air disaster and even terrorist attack, and that could be, I'm not saying that's going to happen, okay, just a possibility. Also, anything connected with life philosophy, organized religion could experience challenges, could be tested somehow. I also thought about the jihad and the terrorists, so this eclipse could manifest its energy in two different ways. One, there could be an attack that the terrorists do, and it could be, it could succeed, therefore to them it will be like a success to them, or they can try something and immediately get caught. So I think that probably both cases could happen, but then again, I don't know. These are possibilities. I'm only reading the chart. So the transits that occur during the solar eclipse, I mean, everything connected. It's the sun and the moon are connected, and they're going to be, this eclipse, they're going to be in a T-square with Neptune. They conjunct Neptune. They're going to be opposing, like I said before, Jupiter, and they're going to be, the sun and the moon going to be square along with Jupiter, Saturn. So Saturn way up here, and then Jupiter. Okay. Yeah, sun and moon and Jupiter opposing, and then Saturn squaring, you know, the sun, and squaring Jupiter. So it's kind of like a weird triangle. So I'm thinking several possibilities, several ways that this energy can manifest itself. It can be a possibility of new terrorists attacks. They might not be caught in time by the authorities represented by Saturn. And why they cannot be caught in time? Because the authorities will have no idea where to start. Because I think they'll have to analyze like lots and lots of information which was recovered by surveillance of any kind. You know, any type of, everyone knows that we are surveilled. You know, everything is surveilled. There's almost no privacy nowadays. So they'll be like submerged, the authorities, by a ton, much more than a ton of information. Why do I say that? Because Neptune and Jupiter are opposing each other, and they are squaring Saturn. And I think the police authorities and other authorities will be overwhelmed and buried in a mountain, more than a mountain, of information, and they will not be able to leave this mountain, and it will be almost impossible to see which one is the most important information, you know. And this information will be coming to them from around the world. There's lots and lots of threats, and some are real, some are not, and which one is it? So they will have no idea where to start. I think that's one of the main, will be one of the main problems. This type of behavior can also be applied to health and any type of illness that threaten the whole globe. You know, the most recent virus is the Zika virus, if I'm not mistaken. And there's going to be such overwhelming amount of information that it's going to be impractical or unrealistic to discover which fact is the most important one, which is the one that you must pay your attention. So the threats will spread across the globe, and I'm talking about terrorist threats, religious, political, coming from the outside, Sagittarius, and also, like I mentioned, health threats also coming from abroad. Okay, what did I thought as well? This is going to be a very long video, God. I written this down in Portuguese, so I'm translating into English. I think that the same type of reaction action or manifestation can be applied to the art world. You know, maybe some paintings, some artistic works, works of art will be sold in they will get like numbers that you've never heard of before, like millions and millions of dollars or pounds, or like extraordinary values for a piece of art. However, I think that it could be revealed that some are fakes. Some are fakes, and maybe those fakes were previously bought for an obscene amount of money. Okay. Another possibility also connected to art, because art, I'm thinking about Pisces. Pisces also connects to the art world, to the artistic world. Films or series which are released during this time might have cost lots and lots of money, much more money that was ever spent in any other movie or any other series before. So I think the themes connected with the solar eclipse are themes around health, art, religion, and politics, of course. There might be the scandalous revelation of several cases connected with these themes that will allow, I would say, in more or less the timeline of 6 months, to clean house, to set the house in order, because this will be so overwhelming that you really need to make a change. And this also allowed to set up new structures that will dealt in a more organized and realistic manner with whatever is connected with such subjects. You know, you have to be more pragmatical, more organized, more realistic. You have to deal with this in a more succinct sort of way. For instance, in the analysis of threats that come from the outside. So you have to separate which is important from which that is not. So I would say that maybe there will be created new software or new new software that will have the ability to quickly sort out the relevant type of information to whatever it's being analyzed. It could be new ways to see if this is indeed a true work of art, new health protocols that will be set in place in hospitals, but not just in hospitals, I would say worldwide, and to evaluate if this is really, if a certain disease is really a real threat in the degree of menace that they have or not, and also ways to limit the spread of such threat. The other way that this solar eclipse can manifest itself, it could be like a big elimination of health expenses that will be done by the states worldwide. So let's say that you have a certain amount. For instance, when I went to the last time that I went to the hospital, I had like a general checkup, and I had to do all sorts of tests. So I would say that instead of doing 10 tests, I'm putting a number out there, the state or the country will say, now it's not 10, now it's 5, and pick the most important ones, be something like that. So in order to limit expenses. Now, the asteroids, which I mentioned earlier. So, the one which is going to be closer to the eclipse is MEMORIA, MEMORIA. So in my blog, which is www.escrita.blogspot.com, I'll put the link below. I have it's going to be, the article, it's in Portuguese, but it's going to be an image there, and it's the image, a chart, just one chart. It's the chart of Memorias, the discovery of the asteroid Memoria. So you can click on that chart to see the chart for Memoria. So What is the meanings what are the meanings associated with this asteroid Memoria? And I'm gonna analyze it a bit more because it's the asteroid closest to this, like I said, to this eclipse. A way of seeing what are the meanings associated with a certain type of asteroid. It is to analyze the chart of the discovery of such asteroid. So that's a way to see it, to see the meanings associated with that. So first, the most logical one is memory, memoria, memory, remembrance, anything to do with that. It's one of the meanings. So one of them, I'm going to give like one of the memories right now. Virtual memory, for instance. All the memory that is backed in servers, for instance. How we utilize the internet because there are servers around the world that back up these memories. I mean, what would happen if those servers had like a blip or something? There's no more memory. Then what? There's still internet, but I thought about that. Like one possibility is something to do with internet memory or internet servers. Something to do that really something scandalous or something that might happen, or even a cybernetic attack that could come from the jihad, but not necessarily. It can have the jihad, from the Daesh, but it can have, the North Korean attack, something like that has no religious motives, but has political motives. So some sort of cybernetic attack of some kind. That's one meaning. But in order to see more meanings, I went and I analyzed the chart for the discovery of Memoria. When this asteroid is discovered, it's the same thing as being born into the collective consciousness, okay? And it was discovered on the 30th of August 1932 in Uccle, I think it's Uccle, in Belgium. I saw it in Wikipedia. All praise Wikipedia. Thank you, God, Wikipedia, for existing. When we don't know the exact time of a birth or a signature of a contract or whatever, we always apply the noon time. So this map was drawn to noon, or it was, yes, noon. That's the time that I used. So what do we see in this map of the discovery of memory? The north node of memory is at 17 degrees of Pisces. Isn't this interesting? It's at 17 degrees of Pisces, and the solar eclipse is going to happen at the end of 18 degrees of Pisces, really conjunct. So the south node is which is going to be at 21 or 22 degrees during this transit, is going to be conjunct the north node of Memoria. Interesting. It's so it could be, how can I read this? Like a wrongful memory from the past which is released. But I'm gonna elaborate more on this. So, memory. The sun of this chart of the asteroid Memoria, it's located between Jupiter and Neptune. Again, another repetition, because during this eclipse, Jupiter and Neptune are going to be opposed. The south node of Memoria, it's in the sign of Virgo. So there's a stellium. The Sun, the Jupiter, and Neptune, and the south node of Memoria, all of them, 4 elements, are in the sign of Virgo. To me, this tells me that memory, it's not to be stressed. Your memory, or collective memory, your personal memory, it is not to be trusted. It's an irrealistic type of memory. It probably picks and chooses the facts it wants to look at, or it wants to pay attention to. It has also, this memory has a really highly opinion of itself. The sun, the ego, is buried between Jupiter and Neptune. So Jupiter expands and inflates, and Neptune lies. Okay, just for that, you can immediately know that memory cannot be trusted. Do not trust memory. Continuing the analysis of this map, there is this stellium in Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which in Memoria astro chart is located in the 9th house, the house of Jupiter, the house of our values, our philosophy of life. Also, the 9th house is called the house of God, the house of law and justice. This Mercury, which rules the Virgo stellium, conjuncts exactly to the degree the moon, and they are both located in Leo. Okay, so Mercury and the moon at 19 degrees of Leo conjunct. So this further tells me that there is a lot of pride in this fake memory. There is a lot of, pride in this memory. One might speak of it, or one might speak of the past. The moon also connects with the past in a very enthusiastic sort of way, with lots and lots of pride, with lots and lots of vanity, because it's Leo. So from this, what I'm getting is the memory of Memoria, what we recall, what we remember, it's always something which is untrue, and we make or we invent. So Memoria lies and invents and makes stuff up, stuff that never existed. It makes for itself an inflated sort of past in its importance, a past which never existed, and it glamorizes this past and dresses it up with luxury clothes, Leo. It dresses it up with a fake wealth and a fake status. So the Sabian symbol connected to the sun of Memoria charts speaks of a harem. You know what the harem is? Like lots and lots of women, just one man. Okay. Now, a harem can be beautiful and full of luxurious stuff and with beautiful women. This is the way we kind of think of it, but the reality of it, it's full of sex slaves. That's the reality of it. It's full of women who are not free. Okay? And then this again makes me think right back of Daesh and their inflated and kind of idiotic idea of a glamorous past that never happened, that never existed. And they want to implement such way of thinking about this past that never existed here in Europe, in the whole world, if they could. So Memoria tells me that in your chart, in anyone's chart, in the collective chart, speaks of an inability to see reality, to see the facts of the reality of the past the way they happen truly. There's inability to see reality. But why does this inability exist? Why? It exists to protect yourself. It exists to protect your most intimate part, the part you hide, you know, the most soft part of yourself. Also exists to protect a certain type of image, not the reality, but the image that you had of your past, that you had of your childhood. Okay? Why do I say this? Because the moon in Memoria's astrological chart rules the sign of Cancer. Therefore, in this chart, she is going to also rule 3 planets. She is going to rule Mars, Venus, and Pluto, all located in the sign of Cancer. So, go on. Continuing the interpretation of the solar eclipse. This to me looks more and more likely with some sort of action connected with the Daesh, action connected with the idea of sexual slavery of some kind. This can be seen in the Sabian degree of the sun, harem, you know, the harem. This can also be seen in the stellium in Cancer, which is made of 3 planets: the Venus, love and sex, Mars, sex and aggression and violence, and Pluto, sex and rape. So there might be news about sexual slaves and that are, you know, within the Daesh, and I would say that probably you will be surprised about their age. They could be very young girls, really, they could be children, okay? However, because this could be read and interpreted in many different ways. However, because this memory lies, because this asteroid Memoria lies for all sorts of reasons, it lies, there could be news of that, of some sort of atom made of children, but that news could not be could happen not to, I'm sorry, could be a lie, could not be truth, could be fake, because you cannot trust what Memoria tells us, okay? So there could be news of that, that could be true, or there could be something absolutely false. Continuing the interpretation, the asteroid Borasisi has the meaning of caught in a lie. So that this is why Memoria lies, and Borasisi has the meaning of caught in a lie. So the news can be, whatever comes to the media, can be overly inflated, can be lies, can be untruths, you know, maybe they will not convey the actual reality. Borasisi, it's conjunct this eclipse and the asteroid Memoria. Therefore, any news given in the media can be a truth. And one logical way of interpreting all of this is caught in a lie of a memory of an incredible past, wonderful, luxurious, a past that never existed. That's like the most straightforward way of interpreting all of this put together. Caught in a lie of a past which never existed, something like that. Because you cannot trust what memory tells you, you cannot trust what Memoria tells you, you cannot trust what remembrance, what you remind from the past tells you. In an individual way, in a collective way. It will never translate what in reality happened. This memory, this memoria, protects us from the reality in the truth. This is very interesting asteroid, to tell you the truth. To me, according to this map of memoria, the only way to deal with this memory that chooses to lie to itself is by choosing the way of compassion, because the north node of this map is in the sign of Pisces. Therefore, we have to have compassion towards ourselves and towards the way we choose to reveal to ourselves and to live our memories and the memories of our past, which is always idyllic. So another way to deal with the memory of our past is to choose the way of artistic expression, Pisces. You can write about it, paint about it, take pictures, anything to do with art. So, to me, big theme which is present, connected to this solar eclipse, is a theme of general lie and deception on the very collective level. So, Borasisi, which is the other asteroid, brings with it the meaning of trapped in the lie. And I'm going to tell you what the site that I went to. It's www.astrologicaldepth.com, and you search for Borasisi. I'll leave the link below. I hope if I remember it. According to this site, the name Borasisi refers to the son of a mythical religion created by, Kurt Vonnegut, which is a religion that never existed. It's something that a author made up. I did that myself. I created a book, and there's a made-up religion there. It's in Portuguese. So anyway, the religion professed to be made up of lies that you believe in order to be happy. It's the same thing as memoria. It's the exact same thing. There is a lack of flow, a lack of continuity to the illusion, for it is presented as disconnected, separate things. Okay. Therefore, the way I interpret this is, in order to be happy, we have to believe the lie that memory tells you. So, the other asteroids that I've mentioned before, so it's there's going to be a square to the asteroid Chaos, which is located at 18 degrees in 55 minutes of Gemini. Therefore, I would say that there's a possibility of lots and lots of chaos in the social, in the media, if we believe whatever is told by the media at this time. Okay, whatever is told might not be the actual truth. But all of this solar eclipse, one of its objectives, like I said before, is to clean house. So all the lies have to be brought up to the surface, so we can see all the poison that has blinded us by our own decision, because we choose to believe the lie. Okay? We choose not to see the reality of a situation. We chose to believe a beautiful lie, this in a collective level, okay, worldwide, because that lie kept us safe at all levels, So I would say the authorities, whatever happens during this time, will not be able to control the immense flux of chaos in social networks, not just social networks, the internet. They will not be able to control the chaos in the media, nowhere. It will be impossible, almost impossible to manage, because this Saturn will be opposing the asteroid Chaos. It's going to be an exhausting work to manage this. It's going to be like Sisyphus, you know, the guy who carried the stone up to the hill, and then the stone would go right back, and then he'll have to do this all over. He has to do this forever, always carrying the stone. So the authorities, when they finish managing a crisis situation, another one exactly the same will show up. So it's going to be like this, you know. This asteroid is going to have a sextile, which is a positive aspect to Sisyphus. So I would say that whatever happens during this time that will cause chaos, maybe some sort of falsehood that is told in social networks, in the internet, and also by the media, will cause some sort of chaos. Okay, and the authorities will have a very how do you say, exhaustive work behind the scenes to manage this crisis, just to manage one situation after another, and they will be able to do it, but it will be extremely tiresome to everyone and non-ending work. Finally, there is Varda. The asteroid is 174567. She is the queen of the stars. She kindled the first stars before the Ainur descended into the world, and this is from Wikipedia. And this is from if I'm not mistaken, J.R.R. This is from Tolkien. Okay, this is another made up religion by another author. Okay, by another author, another made up religion. And Varda is the queen of the stars. She made the stars. So there's two made up gods, Purasisi, or I think it's a made up god, and Varda. They're not real. So no, they don't exist. Okay, this is not Aphrodite and Apollo, and these are made up gods in a made up religion by two authors, Vonnegut, Kurt Vonnegut, what's his name? Oh my god. Vonnegut, I don't know how to say this name, I'm sorry. And the other author, Tolkien. So it's a whole theme that repeats itself again of illusion, of a made up religion that you choose to believe in order to have safety, in order to be happy. If I believe this beautiful lie, I will be happy. So I've mentioned the possibility of attacks to the internet, chaos in network, internet networks, chaos, absolute chaos. Even memories, virtual memories, which are deleted, erased permanently, I would say, or even substituted by others. Also, I also thought of attacks to hospital networks. I also thought of that. So, with this eclipse, which is a solar eclipse conjunct the south node, I think that all paths go towards closing up. Everything connects, everything leads up to closing up old paths that lead to the perpetuation of this beautiful lie. And this will occur in religion, politics, health, and art also. But first, chaos will come, and will be almost impossible to be dealt by the authorities. But they will deal with it. They will find a way to deal with it, and they will manage to, and they will succeed to manage a very difficult situation, but like behind the scenes, and no one even knows about it. No one even sees it. Okay, so interesting times. I hope you. I don't want to scare you or anything else, or anything like that. Not at all. This was my interpretation. If you have a different interpretation, please leave it below. Okay? Bye bye.